a grip is so important in golf, Dee. Why is it so important to have a good grip?
The grip is vital because it's a bit like, as you just said, it's a bit like the steering wheel of the car. You know, it keeps us on the track. So in golf, our top hand, if we're right-handers, it's just keeping us on the road. And
it's direction in a massive way.
It's very much direction with the top hand. It keeps you on the road in the right lane.
Yeah, it keeps you straight down the middle, which is what you want.
So if your left hand is out, it's going to disturb your top hand. It disturbs the club head big time. It causes so many swing faults.
Yes, and if your grip's out and you tend to hit it left, then you start compensating and then your swing gets out.
Yeah.
So it can cause a lot of issues.
And it's as golf pros, it's very important that we stress to our students, this is something you have control of, so it needs to be right for you. It needs to be right, otherwise you're just compensating, as you said,
not
totally.
hard to get right. There's lots of things that are not easy to get right, but the grip is one that we've got the time, we haven't hit a shot yet, we can get it right before we go.
Yeah. So there's actually 3 easy steps to getting your top hand in the correct position for a right hand.
And before we start, before you go into the 3 steps, you want to make sure the base of the club is straight at where you're heading. Now,
see that?
This part here has to be square to where you want to hit.
You don't want it like that. Do you want to point to the angle, Annie? Because I can't read.
So you don't want to point. That's going to hit you left.
And in that's
going to hit you right. Sometimes people look at this part of the club up here, this top of it, and get a little bit put off or a little bit distracted by this top. So it's the bottom.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's
you can
the
see
bottom
it from that
here.
angle.
So if we do it this way, you're looking here, not the top edge.
Yeah, exactly. The bottom edge is what has to be square or at right angles to where you're
so
heading.
It's very good if you just hold it straight out in front of you. You can see here, it's not that way, it's not that way. I get it straight before I even take my grip.
Okay, so what's step 1?
Step 1 is, I've got a couple of letters that help us remind it, SPC. No, we're not copying the fruit company, but set is, you want to set your top hand, your left hand for right-handers at this angle, almost like you're a dominant handshaking person. I'll just come in a little closer. So you're going to set it so it looks not this way. I don't want any begging. I don't want my hand like that. I want it slightly set that way, slightly over to the right. There. Now the next, so it's set your wrist angle. Does that make sense? The back of your hand is set.
So it's not straight up and down, it's a little bit angled.
And most importantly, it's not this way. We don't want any begging.
Okay, Dee.
No begging.
Beg for a good grip.
We don't want to beg for a good grip. We want to earn the good grip. So then the next important thing, Annie, is we have a look here. We need to set it. So if you want to come in, we're going to set it, the club from there to there. Can you see that? So it's diagonally. See this little knuckle just here? There's a knuckle at the end of my little pinky. The club rests there into that position. Let me just see if I can hold my hand. Yeah, so we'd be further up the grip, but I'm just showing you where it's resting. It's resting under this pad here, under this pad here.
And a lot of people get the club sort of up this way in the palm.
Get it up here.
And then you cannot swing the club that way.
So when we've got it resting there, it's resting there to there.
So this pad stays on top.
So that then, you can't see me because I've gone down here, but then when you come in and you're looking, you can see this pad. Can you see it in there, Annie? It's hanging, this pad is hanging over the side. We don't want it like that.
That's the most common problem, I think.
So if you see it that way,
is the fact that people sometimes get them up the middle of the hand rather than keep it down or in the fingers, and the pad stays on top. Perfect. So
we'll kind of go. So you set your wrist.
Yep.
You place the club diagonally.
Is that step 2?
Step 2 is place the club diagonally where we set.
Yep.
Step 3 is just close your fingers.
Okay.
There's no need to then turn your hand around more so the V's are pointing somewhere, because as soon as we turn our hand around, it slips back into the wrong position.
Yes.
So
it's front on.
We'll go front on. So we're going set, not way over like that, just set a little bit. Place the club where we set. Place. Close.
Yeah, as just as it is. And then let's see what it looks like from the front for people.
Okay, tell me which angle you want.
From the front so people can see, just like that, what it would look like from there. I know it's a bit low, but there we go.
Yeah. So if we're out here, it's going to be, you can't really see, but it's set. I know I'm going over it. Place, close.
SPC, which is an Australian fruit company for those of you not living in Australia.
So not not beg and put it where you say, which everyone does. That's where I said. Then people go, oh, I think I've got to see 3 knuckles. So they turn the hand over and look where it slipped back to. It slipped back too high in my palm.
And what happens if you get the club too high in your palm, Dee?
The biggest thing is you have no control of the club face, but the thing that worries me the most after is that particularly with women, it's the biggest destroyer of their golf game because they end up hurting their wrists, they get bad elbow problems.
And they get into a poor position.
And they get into a poor position
like
at the top. It's very flat like this at the top of the swing. The other thing is they tend to sometimes swing too steep because the club weighs so much. They go, well, I can't stop here. So they have to go up. So it just leads to tops. Oh, it's a disaster. Please get the correct left hand top grip.
Okay, so that's our 3 steps.
Check
How
the
do
grip.
we check to make sure it's right? We have a little test that you can use.
Okay, let's take my thumb and my forefinger off and I can hold it. Thumb and forefinger off, I can hold it. If it's too high in the palm, it almost breaks my wrist.
Doesn't it? Yeah, it becomes very heavy. A great grip is so important, Dee, isn't it, to playing good golf? What? What's so funny? You're laughing at me.
I just kind of felt a laugh coming and I'm like,
Come back here and get in. It's getting dark.
oh, sorry. It's like I don't know what happened to me. I must be so tired. I'm just laughing. I've just got a bit of the giggles, yeah.